May 24th, 2025. I go out to Katana's Chinese restaurant with my husband. I'll tell you what, if I see anybody that reminds me of the cartel, human traffickers, or those religious freaks, I like freeze. But my husband went, "Why are you just staring off in the distance?" Because I freeze. Okay? Some guy was in there. He said, "I got to listen to this today." And do you realize how not funny this is? Hmm? I listened to this today, and I do realize how not funny this is. I do. She almost died to save everyone. And all these people run around making fun of her because they had some doctor drug her up that's not even hers. And to have her say something like that, and that's all only proof they have, is where they had a doctor drug her up and tell her to say something like that. And they already confessed. The FBI opened a case, just leaving her there. Don't care what happens to her. And they use the case to get all those drug dealers and let them abuse her like that. And people run around making fun of her. And they already knew they knew. And that agent telling on her. Do you know how not funny this is? Yeah, I do. I'd like to know what's wrong with you. Had some idiot girl not too far from me said I could always say, "You did what to yourself?" Oh, hell no. So I start going through how Danny didn't know about the shower scene, how they admitted to photoshopping it and a drug scam by drug dealers, and how the FBI never fell for the dirty doctor scam of taping you on aware, and da 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 da, and it sounded mechanical. Or I did, and that girl admitting, or I said they never fell for it because it's so illegal. I said when I went over it with Danny, how illegal it is that he's like, of course it's illegal. Some doctor that's not even yours drug you up until you say something stupid like that. I said, that's a retirement plan. I'll assume for $1 million I find the first and last name. They can't touch you without consent. It's assault and battery. Medical malpractice, medical negligence. There's $1 million lawsuit coming his way. I find out who he is. Because like the prosecutor's office said, somebody was hurting you. You had bruises all over, throwing up. Oh, that's one thing that guy said. I realized the way where she said the room was going in and it would go dizzy and black. And that when she got in the car, the room started going, or the areas started going like this and crossing each other. And I kept thinking, what's wrong with me again? He said, I realized how many illegal drugs they were even using on her. Well, when I was going over how that it's illegal to be in somebody's home as placing agencies only under a threat of life with statements and a court order without a conflict of interest. And Danny's like, of course it is. I said they made up a lie. They had special permission. There's no such thing. And then photoshopping a shower scene in your other room of you washing yourself to make you look weird. And them paying some dirty doctor to stab me with a date rape drug and tell me to say something stupid. I don't even know who he is. And they hired him on his own. I said, do you realize how illegal this is? That girl looked at the other girl. We're going to tell Melissa our group's not helping out. Why are you helping out? I want to know what's wrong with you. What is mentally wrong with you? What is wrong with your subconscious? You don't have one? Someone cult's trying to kill this woman. Okay? Trying to kill me. It didn't work, so they came up. They already had the drug cartel there. Had them come up with a drug scam. They have some dirty doctor they know feeding them drugs. Break in a private home. Stab a woman in her sleep or lace her drink when she's out of the room. Don't even know the asshole's there. Drug her up and tell her to say something stupid and then have her beat and raped by the cartel. Wake up with bruises, throwing up, heart racing, almost passing out, severely infected? Hmm? Where did you think Melissa's church was funny having the cartel doing that to me? I want to know what's wrong with the FBI. Why didn't you arrest him? I know you were one of the big drug dealers, a big drug cartel, and you sacrificed me. You also told on me, and they admitted to you they already knew, and there was no staying quiet, and that agent don't have the authority. And he opened a real case, and all cases come with money, and he stole my money. And fed me, and they got thousands of human traffickers, drug dealers, saved hundreds of kids. If it was an agent, they would have got a reward. Getting raped, tortured, their skull bashed in, almost shot driving, human trafficked. If it would have been an agent, they would have got a reward for living through all that. And let alone I got your truck and saw me, because Michael Peterson was bragging to me how he's smuggling oil in the U.S. and he got arrested over this. Lady investigator, we called down about Michael Peterson's shipment, and they said it wasn't legit, and they were going to look into it. He got caught stealing from his government, where Michael Peterson had a letter of allegation. He sent me bill of sales for a tanker of oil, large money transfers, got when he was leaving, where he was staying, port coming back, what state was buying the smuggled oil. Turn it all into every government agency. His credit card got stuck in Venezuela. And I still sent it into the government. Guess what? Lady investigator, we called down there. It wasn't legit. They said they looked into it and he got arrested for stealing from the government. Him and 50 other people. I got a world terrorist arrested. People run around because an occult hired the drug cartel. Did you ever notice? With all the children and women being taken, not one apostolic person gets taken. Not one of their children, even if they're beautiful. You know why they don't get taken? Because they pay them to hurt people and they're part of them. Their children and their women don't get taken. They can walk around them and they're not afraid of them. Why? Because they paid for them as hired hitmen. So they don't touch the apostolic people. Did you ever notice that? And Agent John, you know the night you went and told on me the Apostolic Church of Barberton? And Pamela was screaming at Dave while I walked off. And Dave said when I walked off, you walked up and talked to him. I never met you in person. You know there was human traffickers up there, right? That night. I didn't know who they were till later. You know they were up there that night. They were in that church. In December of 23, I went down to Target. Some people from Paymers were there. Apostolic Church of Barberton. They said, would they let us listen to this today? We already told those people we don't want them up there at our church, and we don't want them around us. They brought serial killers and child molesters into the house of God. Who do you think Melissa, and Lighthouse Tabernacle, hired? They hired serial killers and child molesters to do this to me. People that sell and kill women and children. They can walk around, the serial killers and child molesters. They don't touch their people because they paid for them to be here. And thousands of their people, because that church hired them, have been taken, women, children, dead, sold for sex slaves, and to be murdered. Because they brought them here. Lady investigators a couple of years ago. That minister should have died in prison. He better thank God he's dead, because Strange died a couple of years ago. Now, like that guy said, they try to act like that doctor was hers for a long time. She don't even know who he is, and she'd never even heard of a neuropsychiatrist. Had to Google to make sure they didn't make up the word. None of this is funny. Where they got that girl taped, saying that they had that doctor tape her unaware. and they had that Dr. Heifer say it. Where they were even, that was an apostolic girl last Saturday in Millersburg stalking me, bragging how they had that doctor do it to me. Yeah. We're on the 22nd of May. Walmart West Tusk. They hired some neuropsychiatrist to tape her unaware. They can't do that. They had that, and then he said how he questions people, he drugs them up and has them say stuff. He can't do it, and neither can they. It's not my doctor. They think of some serial rapist, some Jack the Ripper, some rapist messed up with the drug cartel, breaking in private homes, stabbing a poor woman in her sleep or lacing a drink when she's out of the room, drug her up, tell her to say something awful like that, and then have men beat and rape her. Melissa's church did that. Hired them to, that doctor has to be messed up with the drug cartel to help them out with this drug scam and would hurt somebody that's not his patient. Talked to Danny about it, that was one of their scams why I had bruises throwing up. Name a dirty doctor. It's not admissible. It's illegal for a doctor to tape you unaware. It's illegal for a doctor to treat you without a signed consent. It's illegal for them to run a treatment without a signed consent. They can't be hired by an occult and your ex-husband trying to kill me for my his girlfriend. His girlfriend at the time, his psychotic girlfriend. And some doctor is messed up in the drug cartel, breaking in private homes, stabbing people that aren't his patient with a date rape drug. And tell him to say something awful like that. Do you know that's only where that guy said, do you realize they don't have any other proof of anything but where that doctor drugged her up and told her to say it and photoshopped her washing their tapes. That's all they got. You actually look at that, that's all they got. That's nothing. They could go to prison for that. What's wrong with you, FBI? Why didn't you arrest him? Police, why haven't you arrested him? It's a felony invasion of privacy. It's cyber stalking. Dave told Danny April 16th of 2023, I left Jen's mom's memorial service, and where I had been asking them about all this, they didn't know anything. I walk up to my car. He's across the parking lot real loud talking to Danny. Danny and Jen are talking to Gabe, my grandson Gabe, and his girlfriend Shay. He said, I finally asked Dad, what on earth is going on? He said he had hired some guy named Pete on his own. It was Pete and his men in her home before. And Pete had her tape saying the dirty, filthy statement. They act like Pete's some drug dealer. The investigators said they knew they were using some guy to keep me drugged up there. Do you know how not funny it is? I'll be like, that guy, do you realize how not funny this is? She almost died to save everyone. The FBI, opened a real case and didn't care what they did to her. Got all the surveillance on those drug dealers and went out and arrested them because of her case. And didn't pay her. And like Grant's friend from the FBI, another FBI office, said if that agent really didn't pay her, only one could steal it was him. And he's got probably someone else in that office covering it up for him. He's been stealing from cases a long time. Because every case comes with money, and he doesn't have the authority to ask anybody to stay quiet. He's already admitted he told on a recorded line and met with all those church people in his office. He made fun of me for that guy Pete, how I was running a scam, said something about a doctor, and it didn't make any sense, and I didn't know who it was, and I thought it was the other lady using my insurance. I found out through the FBI was Dave's girlfriend from before me. Had Dave marry me for a scam so she'd have free insurance because she didn't show ID back then. Half my medical records are hers, and that he'd have extra money to give her. My whole marriage was a scam. Talk about heartbreaking. I would at least like to think when he at least married me, he loved me. But he didn't. I was scammed the whole time. Now, the FBI cared about Amish men's spirits. Put a bunch of people in jail for cutting off other men's beard. The apostolics tried to kill me. Had people almost shoot me in the head driving. People complained they even let Dave get away with murder. They let that ass get away with murder. The gunshot night, they said they killed 2 outside. Had to hide not to get killed. They let him get away with trying to have me killed. Had to hide from on that shooting night. Had almost got shot in the head driving. I got stabbed in the neck, bashed in the back of the head, beaten, raped, and left for dead on 12/21/18. The shooting night of Christmas Eve of 18. Faced 6 stalkers coming at me, police chasing them off. I was raped and tortured by 3 men, and one was a fake FBI agent, July to September 19. And I'd wake up before that, and men would be attacking me, and I go to fight them off, and the room would go dark. And I was barely had enough money to eat. I'd have to go to work all drugged up, couldn't concentrate, and had been beaten, raped by a stranger. And they would laugh, show up and laugh that somebody took a payoff to let those men rape me. I was human trafficked. And here I was being human trafficked before. They laughed at me in the beginning of the case, where he had bruises before, throwing up and infected. It was us. It wasn't the wild water. We were drugging you up and telling you to say this, drugged you and told you to say that. And you were being beaten, raped. That's what caused a personal infection. It was us. I laughed in my face. E.T. We photoshopped all our lies. Raised some guy named Chris out of the room. They talked about a Chris around me. Don't know who he is. You know, these people, they had enough nerve to run around calling me ugly. Do you know how many men asked me out, and because of these people, they either chickened out, or didn't work because they caused so much problems? Business owners, retired sheriffs, active police officers. For somebody who's supposed to be so fucking ugly, I had a lot of men ask me out. Now I want to know why society in this area is helping an occult hire the human traffickers, the ones that are selling women and children for sex slaves and being murdered, to run a drug scam of them paying off some dirty doctor in the drug cartel, where they said he worked for the drug cartel in 18, to break in a private home and stab some woman with a date rape drug and tell him to say something stupid and let men beat and rape him under drugs. And in stocking tapes, Photoshop a shower scene. There was no special permission from the chief of police. There is no such thing. Police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life with statements in a court order without a conflict of interest. There is nothing else. Even the FBI would go to jail. It's called entrapment. Felony invasion of privacy and cyber stalking. And what they did with that doctor is medical malpractice, medical negligence, assault and battery, and assault with a deadly weapon, and attempted murder. And the photoshopping or showering is sextortion and cyber stalking. It's a racketeering scheme, a fraud scheme. And why are you helping a church get away with killing people and trying to steal from the victims that lived through it? What is wrong with you and your moral compass? And FBI used my case and got a lot of bad guys. I like my money. And when people try to get you to help make fun of me, why are you making fun of a human trafficking victim that the cartel ran a scam on? It's just a scam. It's a big fraud scheme, big drug scam. They keep telling them it's just a big drug scam. Because you know what? My kid's pediatrician, he's still in practice from when they were born. You know what he told me? Karen, I never had to worry about you abusing your kids. I never had to worry about them being neglected or harmed. Nothing. He said, but you come in here with big bruises. The only one I worry about in that house is you. Because every time Dave had a bad day, he'd come home and beat the hell out of me. And then he'd be sorry and make it up to me for a year or 2. And the next time he was in a bad mood, didn't even have to say or do anything. And he would beat the hell out of me. And then be sorry for a year or 2. So there was never any accusations, no suspicion, and no report of abuse. Hmm? So what do you got? A direct confession from a psychotic Jack the Ripper that worked with the cartel to run a drug scam. Was never my doctor. Like Michelle told an agent, and then she confessed in front of the police. March 27th, 25, and April 17th, 25, he was never my doctor. He works for them, and they have lied. He was my doctor. Like that apostolic girl last week on the May 17th, 25, thank goodness we had a doctor tape her unaware. Thank goodness we had that doctor have her say that. And because we had that doctor have her say it, we can do whatever we want to her. You can't. They have become deranged and insane in their thinking of getting lost in the hype and the cult of hurting people and the excitement of killing people and destroying until they have no sense of reality. Start looking at them where an investigator called those churches nothing but, those apostolic churches in this area are nothing but pure evil. You can't, it is illegal for a doctor to tape you unaware. It's not admissible. Right to privacy covers it. He's not even my doctor. There's no sign for consent, no sign for treatment. They hired somebody, Jack the Ripper, that works with the cartel to break in my home and stab me with a date rape drug and tell me to say something stupid and beat and rape me. He's like the cartel said, he works for them. I'm going to upload this. Now, people need to start checking themselves.